Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm going to tell you what. If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Ooh.
There'd be two of me. That's
Man.
how good I'm feeling right now.
Do we have a twins transition? Can I think of twins? Who are some famous twins?
I'm sure there's some 6'3" twins out there somewhere. Maybe
Yeah.
those brothers that played at why is the mic? Dude, did you notice that the headphones were so loud?
Yes.
Dude, the headphone button here is our headphone cord is laying on the headphone dial, and it must have pulled it because I put those headphones on as I was talking. That was as loud as I've ever heard this thing.
That's the
in my ears.
That's the Jake the Snake Damien story.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They were all in the locker room at some arena one day, and Jake would put Damien, just let him be in the shower, turn on the water.
Okay.
And there was one time that Damien started slithering up the wall and turned the hot water dial on the wall. On scorching hot. And it got so hot that it shot out of Damien, like quickly shot out of the shower area and into the locker room. And he said all these 6'3", 215-pound guys jumped up and jumped onto chairs and tables and ran out of the thing. Man. Yes.
That was story. So that's what just happened just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching, you can tell I don't have the headphones on after I hit the record button. Can't hear it. And then when I put those on, bud, that was loud.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Our headphones 100% had a little Jake the Snake cord going on.
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite Jake stories.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've seen every Dark Side of the Ring. I've seen every WWE Rivals. I've seen every WWE biography. I've seen almost all of those Stone Cold things that Stone Cold does where he interviews people. I have never heard that story.
I feel like I heard that story 15 years ago.
And I've seen so many things with Jake the Snake. So many things.
Yeah.
With Jake the Snake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. He's doing really well now. We talked about that.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, he's got oxygen. He's hooked up to oxygen and stuff.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but he's doing. But I mean, for where he was, yeah, old boy's doing great.
He's been, from what I understand, he's been sober for a while, and he reconciled with his wife. He's back with his wife. His ex-wife.
I didn't know that. I knew that he had reconciled with his kids,
mm-hmm.
which was a huge thing in general.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he was back with his wife. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good for Jake. You know what? Shout out DDP. Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah. This man does things with his yoga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My man just hooks people up with a little bit of yoga. Jake the Snake couldn't move, like couldn't walk. Same thing with Razor Ramon. What's his name? Help me out.
Scott Hall.
I mean, before he died.
Yeah.
I didn't kill Scott Hall, did I? No, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
But before that, like that dude could not get out of a chair. And Jake the Snake and DDP brought him in, and he relapsed a couple times.
Sure.
But they brought him into DDP's home and like had him moving again. You know what I mean? Like this, whatever DDP's yoga is, I'm about to start doing it.
I've heard amazing things about it. I mean, there's the documentary about that.
Yep.
I'm sure we've both seen that.
Yep.
Yes, it's awesome. He's really rescued people who were addicts and on their deathbeds.
Yeah.
Like those two guys for sure. Yep. Very cool. I was just looking up to see if I could figure out what Jake the Snake's measurements are.
So here's the deal. We're trying to find every 6'3", 215-pounder we can find. Because as a lot of you know, Uncle Donald got arrested. Indicted for the fourth or fifth time.
That's the thing. I have no idea what any of them are about. I don't know what
it's all about it's all about his involvement in trying to get states to recount and go through the election and try to get them to find that he won. It's all about not fixing the election, but kind of. him trying to fix the election, basically, kind of is how it is.
Both guys were accusing each other, basically, of kind of
but
messing with the counts or whatever.
Yeah, but Uncle Donald actually made a few phone calls and was like, "You need to find 11,478 votes for me."
Oh,
I mean, it's on record. I mean, he said it to the guy from Georgia. I just need you to find 11,478 votes. That was
the only difference. 11,000
in Georgia. Yeah, wow. Which could have swung the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 11,478 votes. Jeez. And you think about how many people in the state of Georgia, how many people were just in the city of Atlanta?
Way more than that.
Whoa, times 10.
Yeah.
Times 100. So anyway,
but the funny
he finally, the first 3 indictments they have not taken him in to have a mugshot and all that stuff, but they finally took him in, had a mugshot, and Uncle Donald is making a killing off this mugshot. Killing. They're saying he's already made probably $13 million off merchandise just from this, from 2 weeks ago.
Isn't this a weird world?
Isn't it though? It's crazy. The guy who's running for president right now,
is he for sure? Don't they still have to do primaries and all that?
He's running. I mean, yeah, he's running for president.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's 8 people he's running against in the Republican primary, but he's running for president and winning. Currently winning. He's been indicted 4 or 5 times, has a mugshot. But the best part is they put out his mugshot, and with his mugshot comes his dimensions, shall we say, his tallies, his 6:15. Jesus Lord.
That's what time the mugshot was taken.
That's what time the mugshot was taken. At 6:15 p.m., he was 6'3", 215 pounds.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead. Ask me what I weigh. Ask me how tall I am and how much I weigh.
First of all, no. Here's what I want to get to first, and then I'll do that.
Okay.
I've watched 60 Days In and several documentaries about prisons.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
Those are kind of interesting.
Yep. So 60 Days In, that scares me a little bit, because if they figure out that them dudes are not really supposed to be there, they're going to die
at any moment.
Yeah. That scares me to death.
Yes. But it's pretty, some of that stuff is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
But I've never seen during the intake process, I don't ever remember seeing them put a guy on a scale and get a tape measure out.
Well, the only thing, I mean, sometimes you'll see where they put him against the back. They'll put him against the background. Yeah. This did not. This was just, you had the sheriff's little emblem. They made sure to get the sheriff's emblem in the background too.
They took him to the sheriff's office and told him to stop in a hallway against the wall. Like, yeah, we'll do it right here.
What is your ID?
Give me your best scowl.
Yeah. That's the other thing. That scowl he has is hilarious. What is your measurements on your ID? And we found out that Donald Trump's driver's license, or he just said, however this works.
That was going to be my question.
What is your question?
He had to have told them.
100%.
I'm 6'3", 215, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do when you go to the DMV.
That's true.
To get your driver's license, they say, "How tall are you?" And 6 years ago, I was 5'10" on my driver's license, and I stopped lying. And I was, you know what? I'm 5'9". I'm not gonna lie anymore. Now it says I'm 5'9", and they ask how much I weigh, and it says 200 pounds on mine. I'm 210 right now. It's 210 this morning.
Well, you fluctuate. You've been down 185.
Sure.
Yep.
I fluctuate a lot. Either way, Donald Trump is bigger than me, and I mean fatter than me. Donald Trump is
without question
fatter than me. Okay,
he can eat 3 of you.
He's also, if he is 6'3", that would put him 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6 inches bigger than me, and quite a bit bigger than me. There's no way he weighs 5 pounds more than me. There is zero chance. Uncle Donald is 6'3", 215. Get out of here. Who are you? Kofi Kingston?
Yeah. Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow. Is he 6'3", 215? That is so great. I'm so happy. I need that mugshot, but I'm going to put Joe Burrow's face on it. That's what we're going to do. And just put 6'3", 215 under it.
It was so funny for the next 2 days after that to see all on social media, all the athletes that people posted that were 6'3", 215. I mean,
did you say Victor Oladipo, 6'3",
Victor
215?
Oladipo. And they showed they put a side by side. Victor Oladipo is is just only muscles.
That's
it's
it.
Only muscles, and he's pretty thin.
Thin.
Lamar
it ain't like he's
Jackson,
a big beefcake, dude. Lamar Jackson is a string bean.
He's like 6'4", 215. Oh, it's
Uncle
so
Donald,
funny.
bud. Sometimes, man, this is Uncle Donald's. This is his biggest flaw. Okay, it's his biggest flaw. He's just gotta go with the truth every once in a while.
He's egomaniacal, of course, but
big time.
Yes,
the ego's in. But there's no one looking at you going, you know what? I think Uncle Donald's about 6'3", 215. No, they're all going. I think he's about 6'1", 3 bills.
Yeah,
that's whatever. And I'm going to tell you right now.
That's probably what he
take the loafers off with his lifts in them and everything else that he's got, and push down on the bouffant haircut he's got, whatever he's got up there. My man, 6'1", at the tallest, 3 bills. I guarantee he's 3 bills.
It's hard to, like, on TV, which is the only time I've ever seen him. It's hard to tell height on TV unless he's standing right next to a person that you know how tall they are.
I know that dude's 6 foot, right? Yeah. Like they say Barack Obama's like 5'10", 5'11".
Oh, really?
I think so. Or is he 6 foot?
I thought maybe he would be closer to 6'3".
I just said I
have no idea.
I said that and I don't know because to be honest, they're really close to the same height. I think last time when the little change of power happened, or however all that works, they seem to be right around the same height.
It says Barack Obama 6'2".
6'2". All right, so maybe Uncle Donald is 6'3". Let's just say he is 6'3". 0 chance he's 215. I mean, literally, it's a 0% chance that he weighs 215 pounds.
Yeah.
0%. Not 1%, not 0.00001%, 0.0% chance he's 215. There's no chance he's less than 250. I'm going to tell you right now, there's 0% he's less than 250.
Yep.
That dude's 3 bills. What a ding dong. Well, you want to go through the list?
It was just funny.
Let's compare Donald Trump to some people real quick.
I didn't.
Tell me who's bigger.
I closed the list actually, but anyway, it was just for those couple days after that happened, it was so funny to me because to see the side by side picture, and sometimes like people would post like some of the worst pictures that Donald Trump looks the fattest and stuff like that. Of course,
you got to get the right angle.
And I'm sure he fluctuates too, maybe a little bit. But anyway,
he likes his Diet Coke. I know that.
He does like his Diet Coke.
Likes his Diet Coke.
And I don't know if I feel like that puts the pounds on. It sounds like it wouldn't, but I feel like it probably.
Let me tell you something about
You're
Diet
still
Pop.
putting
Diet Pop fakes it. It tricks your body.
Yeah.
So even though your body, even though it's got no sugar, your body still feels like it's sugar, and it's still grabbing the stuff inside that and holding onto it as stored fat. So it's even if it's not real sugar, it's still holding onto it. It might burn off easier, but it's not. I don't know if any of what I just said is real or not, but I feel like I just said it with confidence, right? It's like Donald Trump. Say it with confidence. I just pulled it on Uncle Donald. Say it with confidence. Everyone will believe you.
You learned something from those 4 years, huh? Good job.
Yeah. My 4 years in college at Xavier. I can make someone believe that I went to Xavier. 100%.
Well, yeah, you have more Xavier clothing than any student there.
Yeah, you're probably right. Any alumni that's come out of there.
Okay. Oh, see, I thought that was okay. I thought that was the list. It was a list of whatever he's charged for.
Yeah, we're not a political podcast, so we're not going to get into the indictments and all that good stuff. Was it January 6th and all that. That's another. We could talk about that if you want to. You want to talk about it? I don't know enough about it.
I mean, I've seen the pictures and the guy with the horn hat and stuff. I mean. I only want to see the funny stuff.
I know. So is that a bad thing? Is that bad?
No, I don't think. I mean, I know
it's terrible. I know everything that happened.
Information really about it and stuff. But then
somebody dropped a deuce on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Oh, is that real?
I don't know, but somebody said it. I mean,
I heard that.
I feel like those people that were there. I feel like that's probably true.
And it's so hard to understand, like everything now, because certain news outlets or just people talking, whatever that person or that news outlet wants you to know or want you to think is what you're going to find out. And who knows what is true or what's not. Like,
all I know is
they were saying like some of the police were just letting people in, and some of the police got shot, and some of the
there was
I don't know,
one or two police officers that did get shot, but there was also some people that got shot by police officers. One or two people, I think at least one, got shot. Either way, like, that's the thing. So I tell you this, I'm a Republican.
Okay.
All right. We'll get a little political here.
Okay.
I'm a Republican. I voted for Donald Trump twice. Okay. There is zero chance that I would vote for Donald Trump again.
Okay.
I would never do it. I had 4 of the best years of my life when he like profitable, most money my family has ever made. It was the best 4 years of my family's like economically of my life. That dude is crazy.
Yeah.
When this January 6th, like, he literally could have stopped it. And now they've got lawyers and all these people coming out with the thing. He 100% knew what was going on, refused to say anything. Some of the stuff, this dude, like, you hear it, like, I used to say this when he was running for president. I would go, he's doing all this to get elected.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that if he says all this stuff, and he does all this stuff and calls people names, he's going to get these hillbillies to vote for him because he's different. He's going to get the vote.
He's a novelty.
But at the same time, he had some good ideas and some, like, he didn't have anybody in his back pocket, right? He didn't have all these special interest groups in his back pocket. So he would actually go out and try to do what he thought was the best for the country. Is how I felt. And then old boy got in there and he was still just as loosey-goosey, crazy, mouthy as you could. Why? I don't understand.
It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week marketing for that guy.
Yeah. Me and my dad used to joke, like, I think he sits up at night and he has a bourbon. Then he has another bourbon. And then he gets to that third one and somebody should take his phone away because that all of a sudden 2:00 in the morning, he's tweeting out. He doesn't drink. Found out he doesn't drink. He's completely sober. So that means at 2:00 in the morning, old boy's just playing on the tweet box.
Mm-hmm.
I decide at 2:00 in the morning, I'm going to send the craziest thing I've ever sent. And I'm the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I want somebody that's got nobody in their back pocket, no special interest groups, not giving people a bunch of money.
It's going to be tough.
I want that person without Uncle Donald's ego.
Yeah.
I need a little ego. I just don't need. And like, that dude couldn't fit in this room. His head's so big.
Yeah.
And his hair definitely wouldn't fit in here.
We both coach, right? Or have coached.
100%.
I don't know. So, like, a lot of my social media has become stuff about coaching, a lot about leadership.
Yes.
And you can, I mean, even not on social media, you can just find stuff all over the internet on leadership.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've looked at plenty of that stuff. It's when you read about, like, professionals that talk about leadership, that know what they're talking about, to me, that's the biggest thing. Like, any policies or whatever, I don't really care if the economy's incredible while he's there and it's terrible while he's not there. I'm going to be living in it either way, both ways.
100%.
So,
yep.
So either that's all fine. But it's, to me, whoever is the leader of the most powerful or second most powerful, whatever we are now,
maybe
third most powerful country in the world, I think leadership skills have to be at the forefront. And I think big Donald Trump people would probably say he's an incredible leader, because I've heard people say that, and I'm like, yeah, but
I don't know how. I feel like he's more of a Stalin or a Hitler. Yeah. Like, says outlandish, crazy things and gets this mob mentality around him, and this giant mob that he has in these huge, what do you call them, rallies, start cheering when he starts making fun of people and saying and talking garbage about people. That's not a leader. That's not a leader.
No, that's a novelty act. That's the term that comes to mind all the time.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's crazy that he ever became elected in the first place, because he's kind of been like that for a long. He's been famous for a really long time.
But the thing is his policies and the things he wanted to do to try to make America better, make America great again. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
But that they were good ideas, and a lot of them worked once he was able to actually put them in, and the economy was booming and things were going well.
Financially, it seems like a lot of people were happy.
There's only one thing. There's only one thing I care about, and that unless there's a whole lot of stuff that I could care less about. I have my house, which we're in right now. I have my family, and outside of that, Bud, there's not a lot of things that really affect me in my everyday life. I need to make sure that I can provide, and that's it, right? A lot of stuff outside of that, you call me egotistical, you call me whatever you want, but that stuff doesn't. It's not as important to me. That's what's important to the American people is making an honest living, being able to pay for groceries and gas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a lot of stuff like it's really great for a lot of people, and probably as a result of that, probably harder on a lot.
It's always going to be that way. Yeah. It's impossible to not be that way.
Of course,
no matter what side you're on.
Sure,
there's always going to be people. There's no way to go around it.
Yeah,
everybody's not going to make the exact same amount of money.
Yeah,
it's impossible. We're not a socialist. I mean, people say we're getting close to it, but we're not. We're not a socialist country, and we're really not close to it. But like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You're going to have classes, and maybe those classes separate more.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, that's not a good thing.
Right.
But at the same time, the more they separate, the more that this guy's good for you and this guy's good for you. And that's where we're at right now, right? We have this giant divide and there's nothing in the middle.
Yeah. And it's
there's more people in the middle than you're here, because the loudest people are the furthest ends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are the loudest because they're the most psycho. They're the craziest people. They're the Democrats that the Democrats don't like, and they're the Republicans that the Republicans don't like.
Yeah.
And they're the loudest people. And then everyone else is kind of in the middle. Like, can we just figure this out?
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's those loudest people that you see at the rallies, and you see interviewed on, with American flag Trump shirts and people interview. So, what do you think is going on now with President Trump? And
he's the greatest. And the bad thing is every time I almost did it right there. Every time they do it, they get like a southern, like hillbilly accent. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened in this country. But that's not it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I know people that are millionaires and billionaires that are like, yes, he's the greatest thing that's ever happened. Like they'll say the exact same thing, but when they talk about Trump supporters, it's always, oh, he's the greatest thing that's ever happened in this country. What do you think about Donald Trump getting indicted? He didn't do it. Yeah. He did. He did it's 5 times now. Where there's smoke, there's fire, big dog.
it's and I've seen the ones where it's like people at a Trump rally are being interviewed, and they're like, Joe Biden is not the president right now. He's a robot, and Donald Trump is controlling him from his tower. And they're dead serious about it.
And that's the other thing, because the people that people will interview 100 people and put one of those interviews on their TikTok. Yeah. And that one interview is that psycho weirdo. Yeah. And that dude's probably messing around.
And then now that goes
viral.
And then all the other people who aren't smart enough to think for themselves, who are just blindly, this is Trump's my guy, Biden's my guy.
Yeah.
It's now they see this person saying that about Trump, and he's actually running the country, and Joe Biden is a
puppet.
Is a puppet or a robot or an alien.
He's actually dead. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. You know that?
Yes.
He's actually dead.
Yes.
He's not even really alive.
Maybe a little believable. But anyway,
that is believable. Once again, both of them are old as dirt.
It's so clear to me. I have no idea if I'm even going to vote in this next election, but it's so clear to me that it has to be somebody other than the last two guys.
Hunter, I totally agree with that. And I'm not going to lie to you. At this point in time, I don't care who it is. Just not them. I do care who it is. I'll take that back. I do care who it is.
Sure.
I just don't want either of them.
Guy like either one of those guys.
I don't want those two. I can take somebody a little bit like either one of them, but I can't have these two.
I've got to have
Biden is 80 years old and showing it. You hear it all the time. Like when Barack was president, right? He was young when he got elected, younger, compared to presidents. Old boy looked old as dirt after 8 years. He went from black hair to gray hair in 8 years. Totally gray hair. Like, it ages you. That's a lot of pressure, right? It ages you. So if you're already old as dirt, but you're going to get old as dirt quicker and quicker and quicker.
Sure.
And the stuff that dude, like, I mean, it's easy to make fun of him. And the reason it's easy to make fun of him is because he doesn't know where he's at half the time. His speeches make no sense. They don't let him do like afterwards, like question and answers after a speech. His people won't let him. They won't let him because they're scared to death. They don't know what he's going to say. He can barely get through a speech.
Same with Donald Trump too.
No,
but for different reasons.
Yes, but the thing is,
but they let him.
No, they want Donald Trump not to take question and answers, but he goes, no, I'll answer that. And the answer is, I'm the greatest president that's ever lived. I have made the economy 3,427% better than it ever was from any other president before me. Come on.
People are saying.
Come on, Uncle Donald. Let's go. Dude. Let's just a couple truths, bro. Just a couple truths. I'm winning in every single poll. They say I'm losing in the polls, but they're incorrect. I'm winning in every poll. Well, I don't care. Like,
the guy,
it's okay,
the guy
bro.
That trademarked fake news is willing to provide fake news.
Good God.
Anyway,
I can't stand all politics. I can't stand it.
Yeah,
I would love to be a politician. I feel like I could be a politician. I feel like I could run for anything. But the reason is because I could totally bullshit my way through anything. And that's all these dudes are doing. They're bullshitting their way through life.
When you see I never watch any of the debates or anything, but you always see clips like I can't avoid that.
Yeah.
So, and when I see something, a clip of a question being asked and the answers being provided by any one of those guys, it's like, are people actually taking that as a really good answer? Like, there's never any substance to any of it.
So President Witt, how do you feel about the Russian Ukrainian war? Well, I really think that the Reds have a good chance of winning the National League Central.
Yeah, or it's just like well, we definitely have a lot of work to do, and we've got a big plan for that. Yeah. We're definitely going to make some changes,
and you can go to my website and you can see that plan. You can go to the website and where do I find this at? I can't find it. It just says if you want to donate, click on this box.
But anyway,
know all the money. So all these dudes that run for president, right? Like, there's specific thing they can only spend money on certain things, and they go only get money a certain way. But once they decide to drop out of the running, or once it's all over, whatever's left over is theirs.
Wow. So I definitely want to run for some.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, I'm running for something. Let's go. Come donate to Uncle Chris's. You know what I mean?
We're having cheese sandwiches at my rally, buddy.
Uncle Sick with it. Let's go.
There we go.
Everybody. Yeah. Let's see. What is the movie? Famous comedian.
Little Mermaid.
No, most famous black comedian ever
Richard
from the
Pryor?
80s. Richard Pryor. What's a Richard Pryor movie?
Lots.
Oh God, it's in my head.
Blue Streak.
Anyway,
Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions.
Oh,
that's it.
Wow.
Yes.
Second
So
one.
Brewster's Millions. Well, one of the things. So he had to spend $1 million in order to get $10 million. I believe is how it worked. But he couldn't benefit from that $1 million. He couldn't get anything from it. So he ran for president, and his whole thing he ran on was don't vote. don't vote. And he started winning in the polls. And he bought a stamp that was worth like $30,000. And it came on there, and the guys that are, they're like, oh, he did it. He bought memorabilia. He bought a $30,000 stamp. And then they get mail and they open it, and it's got that stamp on the mail. Brewster's Millions. That's what it's called.
I'm not sure I ever actually saw that movie.
That is such a great movie. Yeah. He can't tell anybody what he's doing. He can't. So he started running for president and has like this hot campaign manager, and she's kind of falling for him. And he's like, the whole thing is don't vote because he can't get elected. He's not allowed to get elected. So he's got to put all his money into it. He's not taking money in. He's just putting money into it. And this girl's like, he's the most amazing, and like starts getting upset with him because he's just spending all this money or whatever. And what he can't tell anybody. If he tells somebody, that goes into it too. He loses his however much million he gets for that. Dude, it's such a good movie.
That's a very funny premise, though. Running for president on the platform.
Don't vote. It's the best thing. Richard Pryor and Brewster's Millions. You got to watch that. So good. So good.
Funny. Okay, so speaking of,
this is the most political we've ever gotten
by far.
I mean, we've said that a couple times. Like, that's the most political we've ever been. That's the most political we've ever gotten on this podcast.
And the longest we've talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good 15, 20 minutes in.
Yeah. All right. You're welcome, everybody. So, but speaking of dead folks, when we're talking about Richard Pryor
and Uncle Biden
and
Uncle Joe. Speaking of Uncle Joe,
Sleepy Joe,
Sleepy Joe. He fell asleep 3 times in the middle of.
I think I saw something. I saw something today that Mitch McConnell is like froze again during a speech. You saw that a few weeks ago?
Yeah,
right?
And he like went away for a while. Like he had a stroke or something.
Apparently that happened again today or yesterday.
So why do we have all these old people in power? Why do we got these old ass people that they don't even know where they're at half the time? I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna tell you that I think is the most irritating thing for me. We've got to. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I do. Maybe you gotta. Maybe if I had a little more drive, but term limits. Why does this dude get to be in the Senate or the Congress or whatever he's in? For the Steve Shabbat. So I cut cups. I had 50 Steve Shabbat cups.
The greatest cups.
They're the best cups. Best for milk. Oh my God. A nice cup of milk, wide top so you could dip cookies really well inside of them.
And
or apple juice.
And not a long, like a short enough that you get a good amount of, but it's not so long that you're like trying to shove your
whole hand and so it's not too much milk. Like I don't want to drink that much milk.
Right. Yes.
I want a cup of milk, but I want it in a wide cup.
It was such a good cup.
It was a great cup. But we were 5 years old, 7 years old. Dude just stopped running. Yeah. Like he just got beat last year or 2 years ago. Yeah. Like what that dude doesn't need, and he was only running. I don't want the whole purpose of politicians was never to be a career politician, was to it's there to be a public servant, right? Like you still have a job. Like you were supposed to still have your regular job and then do this on the side to try to help, right? Like you get in, you get out. Right? Like, why in God's name do we let, and all they're doing is just trying to make as much possible money as they can. That's all they're doing. I get that. I'm totally about making all the money you can. Just don't do it through politics. Like go make as much money as you want. But when it comes to running this country, like, bro, we need somebody that's going to run this country to try to run it right, not run it just so they can make as much money as they can because the NRA or the CVG or the LMBA or the PTR is going to give them $5 million.
Yep.
Got any other letters you want to throw out?
Chat GPT. You got what do you have? You said the LNBA. That was pretty good. That's before it became the WNBA. It was the ladies NBA. No, yeah, I know.
We might have just lost about 400 followers.
We got
when you're in the millions, that probably doesn't matter. But yeah. I feel like I know where Joe Rogan's
I said hundreds of thousands, and you said millions. It goes to show you. We're lying. We're a couple of politicians.
Hey, a couple Uncle Donalds over here. We've got millions and millions and millions of followers on this podcast.
The only thing is,
all the millions believe that we are the best. You can look at the polls. Joe Rogan is leading in the polls, but we are leading in the polls. We are really winning. We are winning. we're the best.
Everyone's saying we're winning.
It sucks that you got to make fun of these guys, but it's so bad.
It doesn't suck.
These are the people that are running our country, bro.
It's very depressing, which is why I hardly ever vote, why I hardly ever pay any attention to it, because it's mind-numbing and incredibly frustrating. It's not worth the people that get really upset, which is so many people. The people that get really upset about it, about any of that stuff.
Yes.
It's just not worth it.
You're a Democrat. You're a liberal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're a liberal. He's a liberal. Did you know that? Did you know Bart was a liberal? Bart's a liberal. No, I'm never talking to him again. You didn't know that before. He was your best friend. We like chill out, bro.
Now Bart's a scumbag.
Now he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Because somebody said that he did this. Oh my gosh.
That's the only thing serious about it to me is it seems pretty obvious to me that having two political parties is the biggest, to eliminate those would be a huge step in fixing everything.
Would be. Hey, just let somebody come out and say what they believe. You can believe half of this and half of this. Oh my, because you know what? That's what 80% of the people in this world, maybe more, believe a little bit of both sides. They feel a little bit of both sides.
But there's been they've made it such a competition now between two parties that it gets further and further
black and white,
away.
man. It's black and white. There's no gray. Black and white. I tell people all the time,
especially the last two elections.
It's more than that. It's further back than that. Go back to Clinton and Bush and
go back to the 80s and 70s probably.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it seems like way more over the last couple elections than ever because people are so much more out, or maybe we just hear it because of social media, but I don't know. There's such a bigger divide now, and it seems like it's just going to keep getting worse.
It is. And you know what the best part is? We no longer have a sports podcast, and the election's coming up next year. We are going to have so much fun. You know what, though? We won't, though, because Adam could care less.
Yeah.
Not care less. I take that back. You care. Just not a whole lot.
Almost not at all. Almost not at all. It's funny you said that because
your dad's gonna be so mad at you, right?
Look, I'm not taking a side. That's the thing. Like I don't
mean it that way. I mean the fact, my dad. If I said I didn't vote, my dad would be upset. You didn't vote. That's how things get done is by vote, and he's 100% right because 90%, 98% of the things that go through have to be voted on, right? Like a lot of the biggest things have to be voted on, and you should vote. It's important to vote. It really is. Every vote really does matter. And that's why the thing in the issue 1 or whatever, issue 2 or whatever it was in Ohio with the special election that just came up didn't pass because it's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna get into that.
I didn't keep up with that either.
But that's the point is it's good to vote. It's good also not to just vote just to vote. You also should, I don't care if it's one afternoon. Just take one afternoon, read a couple things about a few people and decide what you want. Go vote. And if you don't want to vote for judges, don't vote for the judges. Find 3 or 4 things that probably are the most important. Read up on those for one day and vote on those things when you go. You can vote. There could be 12 things to vote on. Vote on 4 of them. You can leave the other ones blank. Doesn't not take your vote.
Yeah. That's the thing is there's probably so much irresponsible voting that goes on. I have to assume. And that's why that's why there's so many commercials and all these things to try to get people. Oh my God, I'm driving down the road and I heard that Adam Schmidt likes to kiss little dogs and use his tongue. That's disgusting. I'm not voting for him. It's true. It's disgusting, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, some people like it, and then some people are going to vote for you because you like to tongue little dogs.
Yes, that's right. That's the worst way to put it, but yeah.
No, Adam tongues dogs. That's the name of this. That's the name of this podcast.
There's our title. I'm glad I get to decide that title. Anyway, I just lost my train of thought.
Should we get off of the politics stuff?
Yeah, of course we should.
Okay. So I totally agree. Can I tell you something that happened to me?
Yeah.
On Monday. So on Monday morning around 10 o'clock, I'm driving on my way out towards Toledo, probably somewhere out past Dayton, getting into the Piqua, Troy Piqua area. And I see a gray, I still see the Cadillac. It's a gray Cadillac. And I have zero, this is how bad my memory is. I should never run for anything because I can't remember stuff. I can't remember what I texted you the other day. I text Adam on Monday. I wanted to talk about a 75-cent. It just said 75-cent Cadillac. I texted it to you so I would remember. I have zero idea why it was so funny. I can remember thinking in the car, that's the funniest thing I've ever thought of in my life. I cannot remember why I said 75-cent Cadillac.
Was it just in such bad shape that you're like, that's about a 75-cent Cadillac?
No, it was funny. That's just something that would happen, right? Oh yeah, it was a 75-cent Cadillac. No, it was something funny. And I literally cannot remember. I texted you, I called you earlier today. I cannot remember. My brain, I don't understand it. What do you do? That's short-term memory, right? That's not long-term. That's short-term, like within a couple days, right?
Yeah.
Short-term is not just like a few hours. It's like within the week, right? Is that short-term memory?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. That's bad.
Chris?
It is.
Chris,
my dad does that
I'm
to me all
telling
the
you-
time now. He does.
I'm telling you, that happens to me every single day. I'm with you 100% on the memory thing. It's so frustrating. I tell people all the time, it scares me a lot of times.
Yeah,
how
you go
bad my
grab your
memory is.
phone to look something up and you go, what was I going to look up? What was I going to type into
Yep.
the Google interface?
Yep. I go through that stuff all the time, and I even asked my doctor several years ago about.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like my memory is, exceptionally bad. I like.
Did he tell you to get some ginkgo biloba?
No, he goes, nah, it happens to everybody.
Oh, I thought he was going to say you're getting B40. Punch that young doctor right in his mouth.
It was.
Tell me again about what happens when I turn 40, and I'm gonna stone cold stun you right here in the middle of the porch.
Yep. Stone cold stun you. I'll put you in a sharpshooter. I'll do something to you. But
that's right. Sharpshooter, that takes too long. It's got to be just a quick kick, turn, boom, got him.
Yeah, that is a quick hitter.
I need something quick, bud. Sharpshooter, I got to get you on the ground. I got to grab your legs. I got to twist you around, put you on your front. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and not everybody is the excellence of execution. So.
That's exactly right.
But my memory is so awful. I totally get it. When you told me, I have no recollection of what that was about. I'm like, I can't tell you how much I relate to that.
God. What is the guy? If you are listening to this podcast and you have in the past had issues and you found a way to overcome the short-term memory loss, please write the whole thing in detail, because I need detail or else I'm gonna forget. In the comments of whatever you're listening to this on.
We actually briefly mentioned something when we were talking before we started this podcast about Joe Rogan. We talked about him, and we were talking about something like some sort of drinks that he got invested in, involved in, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's something that he's been invested in for a long time.
I saw that.
Alpha Brain.
Yes.
Alpha Brain.
And he truly believes in it.
Truly believes in it. It's a big Pete Holmes podcast, which is a pretty big one too. That's been one of the biggest advertisers on his podcast for a long time, and he swears by it. He's like, I take Alpha Brain before every podcast. It just clears my mind. It makes me sharper.
I feel
I'm like,
so Pete Holmes is a funny dude.
Yep.
Right. Pete Holmes is the one that reminds me of John Ritter, right?
Yes.
Looks like, yeah. Okay.
Right.
So Pete Holmes is a funny dude. I don't know how serious he gets into things and all that. I've never listened to his podcast. Obviously, Rogan's got the Rogan experience, and that thing's huge. And if you listen, like Rogan, That dude knows a lot about a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little bit about a lot of stuff. Maybe that's it. But he can talk to anybody about it. And he'd be like, I just read or I just saw or this, that. Like, it's insane.
He's got a great memory.
And he 100% seems like the kind of guy that would be like, remember Bobby Knight? Dude, I just asked you if you remember Bobby Knight. That was pretty rough. So what I meant to say was, do you remember how Bobby Knight, I watched something one time that Bobby Knight would only do commercials and advertisements for things that he knew or things that he truly did, or like restaurants he actually went to or stuff he actually used. He wouldn't just take it because they were offering money. I feel like Rogan would be like that. Like, that dude's not just gonna, this alpha brain gave him $10 million, so he's gonna talk about alpha brain. I feel like they could offer him a ridiculous amount of money, and if he didn't think it would work, he would turn it down.
Yeah, I think you know what I mean? Yeah.
Just the way that he is on the pot, like, that's just how I feel he would be.
I agree with you. I know exactly what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm with you. I have no idea.
Maybe I need to get that. I need to get a hold of some alpha brain.
But it's easy. Like, even the ginkgo biloba thing, it's easy to kind of think like it's a supplement, it's a pill. How much is that really going to help me? Is it really going to help me? I asked my doctor also about are vitamins, are like multivitamins, like really like a great thing to take and everything. And he's like, people feel different about it. He's like, it's kind of, if you think it helps you, then it helps you and take them, but maybe not.
Okay.
And so,
how old is your doctor?
He looks very young, but he's
okay
in his 50s.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So he's a truthful guy. I like a truthful guy.
I guess. I mean, it's so hard to tell now, especially because of politics. But
you don't know. You don't know what's true and what's not, bud.
Because you always hear about this pharmaceutical companies in these doctors' back pocket. So they're pushing stuff for these pharmaceutical companies, whether it's legit or not.
That's why I'm saying, if a doctor's saying, you don't need vitamins, I'm thinking he would go, oh, you need to take this vitamin. No, don't take Centrum. Take Flintstone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Flintstone might be my favorite vitamin.
The Flintstone's the best vitamin.
I tell you something I did when I was a little kid.
The Hulk Hogan.
So Dr. Higley was my Dr. Higley. Such a great name.
Higgly Wiggly.
Higgly Wiggly. Over there off of what's next? What road is St. Martin on? It's on the corner of St. Martin and
Boudinot.
Boudinot?
Not Boudinot. Glenmore.
Glenmore. I was like, that's not Boudinot. Glenmore. So my dentist used to be off that when I was a kid. So I always had my Flintstone vitamins, so I take my Flintstone vitamins every morning. You might get Pebbles, you might get Bam Bam, you might get Wilma, you might get Fred. You didn't know what you're going to get. You just tap it out. Boom. Oh, I got the peach one. That's disgusting. When you got the red one, that was a good one. Or the purple one, the grape, that was good. Yeah. But you got that pink or that peach one, it was just average. Anyway,
give me a purple demon.
Brushed my teeth all day long, brushed them in the morning, popped my Flintstone vitamin. And they came out and told my mom, please do not have him eat anything before he comes to the dentist. I had Flintstone vitamin all in my teeth, all over the place, man. It was all over the place. They were so mad about that Flintstone vitamin. Good old Dr. Higley.
Oh, man. Yeah. You definitely don't want to eat right before you go.
Yeah. Brush your teeth. Don't have a bunch of stuff in your teeth.
That's right.
So anyway, I think I might get on this alpha brain. I might try it.
I've thought about like asking my doctor about that. I feel like he would kind of say something similar, though.
Dude seems like he's gonna be like, you never know. Yeah. So I've been big on trying to read medical journals. Okay.
Oh, nice.
On things I want to know about. I don't understand any of it. You should read the word, dude. These people that do these studies in medical journals. Wow.
Yep.
Thank God they got these like blurbs at the beginning and blurbs at the end that tell you what they're looking for and what they think they found.
But that's the most truthful information. That's the best source you can possibly get.
You think it is. I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's scientific studies.
Yes, I was looking up to try to find out. I've been here. You get as a coach of baseball at 10, 11, 12 years old, you start seeing a lot of kids. Like we came up against a kid that had 4 pitches. He threw a fastball, a 2-seam, 4-seam changeup, curveball, and a slider. And it was like, dude's throwing all kinds of pitches. Like, this is crazy. And he threw like 100 pitches against us. And it's like, well, you're only supposed to really throw this many. It's crazy, right? So I'm like, what is it? Like, what is the thing that hurts kids' arms? Curveball, you always hear, don't throw a curveball till you're 13. Yep. It's really when you start shaving or when you become mature is what most people say.
I was like 19.
Okay, yeah. And then you became Teen Wolf.
That's right.
But I started reading in this medical journals, like there's no substantial evidence that says that throwing a curveball will hurt your arm more than throwing a fastball. And they had all these studies. There's one back in 2012. There's another one in 2019. They all kind of said the same thing. And then it starts talking about flexion and abduction and adduction and all these different things and where your arm is when it's cocked. That was the one thing I actually understood. I figured like back ear's cocked, right? That makes sense. But all these different things and just crazy words. But basically it was, we have not found any difference in youth pitchers with soreness due to throwing curveballs as opposed to the amount of pitches they throw. There is 100% data that shows it's all about the amount of pitches you throw. That will affect you. It also says, we're not saying it doesn't hurt your arm, right? Like they're not saying it does or doesn't.
Yeah.
But it 100% does if you throw too many pitches. But we're not saying that it does or doesn't. We're saying that there's not a lot of difference in the way that your arm moves. There's not a lot of difference in there's not a lot of difference in the way kids felt or adults felt or injuries that happened over 10-year span of studies. Like now I'm like, all right, I'm about to teach all these kids how to throw a curveball. Let's go. Let's get some 12-6 Barry Zito going here. You know what I mean? We just won't throw them that many pitches.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things on the internet is especially like the, TikTok and even Twitter are the accounts that are about like nasty pitches.
Yeah.
And pitches with a P.
Uh-huh. You got to go to different websites to find what you were thinking you were saying.
There are a couple people like pitching, like it's like Pitching Ninja or something like that, and like a couple big ones that a lot of people follow. But just and a lot of them are like guys now, but then sometimes you have like, when I get to see, they have like a 20-second clip of Barry Zito throwing 15 curveballs. It's like, oh my gosh, I love.
So you hear people talk 12-6, right? 12-6 curveball, 12-6 curveball, right? That's a big overhand curveball with a lot of torque coming over top, right? That's a big overhand curveball. I've only seen one player in my life throw a true 12-6. Like there's a lot of 1-7, 2-8 curveballs. Barry Zito would throw a 12, like that thing would be up and drop straight down.
Yeah.
There was no side movement on it at all. It almost looked like he just threw it underhand, like a softball pitch, and it just started coming down. Yeah. Insane.
Yep. Looked like an Ephus pitch, and it was a curveball.
Good old Barry Zito, that 12-6 was dirty.
So fun.
Dirty. I was just listening to Dan Patrick today, and he was talking about how he just watched Moneyball again. And he's like, and all of a sudden you can hear all the Danettes going, oh, you got a problem. We know you got a problem with that movie. He's like, I do have a problem with it. It's all about the players. They had an unbelievable pitching staff, and they don't talk about the pitching staff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? There's not. They had Zito. They had
Mark Mulder.
There was another one.
Tim Hudson.
Mulder, Hudson, and Zito. As at like 23, 24, 25 years old.
And I think their fourth guy, wasn't it? He pitched for a little bit, started with a B, last name with a B, kind of a chubby guy.
And you're talking about, I think that was later. The guy the curly hair, big red curly hair.
No.
Who threw the no hitter?
Blanton? No.
No.
Anyway, I'm sure I'll think of it while I'm driving home. But anyway, yeah, they even had another guy or two that weren't too bad, but those three were unbelievable.
Legit. But that whole movie was about their lineup. That's what it was all about, and how he
Scott Hatterberg and Miguel Tata. Jumping around, we have to mention before we go today, Bob Barker.
Dearly departed.
The Dearly Departed segment features Bob Barker this week, who passed at 99.
99 years old. I mean, good for him. He lived a full life. You know what the best part about him being 99 was?
What's that?
Did you see anything on this? So, the big thing on Price is Right to get to the showcase, right, was to spin the giant wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was closest to 100, close to $1.
Right.
Bob Barker got as close as you could possibly get to $1 without going over.
No.
He got 99 cents.
Very nice.
Way to go, big dog.
Very nice.
That's as close as you get to $1 without going over. Well done, Bob.
On the spin of life.
Yes. On the spin of life, he won. Bob Barker won. I watched the whole thing on Bob Barker with the movies like the Adam Sandler, like Happy Gilmore, and then he did a little bit with WWF for a while, or WWE, whatever you want to call it. He did a bit with them that was so funny. They did like a Price is Right on one of Monday Night Raws one time, and he punched somebody in the gut and knocked him out. And oh my gosh, Bob Barker, so great.
So I saw a story, a story of him talking about it, and another guy talking. Actually, I think it was Sandler talking about it. The fight scene in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
like probably the most famous thing he's done besides The Price is Right. Price is Right. And the story is
Price is wrong, Bob.
Yeah. They first contacted. They wanted to do it with Ed McMahon, and Ed McMahon didn't want to do it, or he had something else going on. So they sent it to Bob Barker, and they're like, "No way, he's going to do it.
Zero.
We're just going to send it to him anyway."
Yeah.
And he was interested, and I guess he trained some boxing with some either famous boxer or some other famous guy or something. So he had
I believe it. He looked like he knew how to fight.
He had some technique.
Yeah.
And so they came to him and they said, don't worry about the fight scene. We have a stunt double for you.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to do no stunt double. I'm doing the fight scene.
I don't want some young kid with a white wig on, bouffant wig on. I'll do it.
And he did say that was the only thing when he rolled down the hill. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
He had he said that's the only thing the stunt double did. Everything else he did.
He did.
And he's like, because I wanted to. He's like, especially because I won the fight in the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to get to beat Adam Sandler up on camera. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so yeah, they were, and then there was a thing toward the end before he retired. One of his last shows, Adam Sandler came out on stage and surprised him during the show.
I didn't know that.
Talked about
That's
that.
Cool.
I saw that video a couple times. But anyway, Bob Barker, of course, a legend in the game show. We did Mount Rushmore of game shows.
Absolutely legend. Yeah, Hall of Fame, dude. First ballot.
For sure. Yeah, and
I mean, old boy took the skinny microphone to another level.
Yeah.
He took that 70s skinny microphone and said, I don't care if you have something better. I don't care if we're in the 2000s and you've got something better. I use a 12, 14, 18-inch skinny microphone. This is what I do. This is how I roll, bro.
Put 3 straws together, and that's my microphone.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
Very funny. But anyway, sad to see that he passed. But 99, like you said, lived the full life, and
absolutely
very cool. Just fun to see some of the old clips and stuff of that. Price is Right.
That was I think there was a point in my life where Happy Gilmore might have been my number one movie.
It was way up there for me too. Yeah. after it came out and after I watched it 100 times.
Yeah, I was on a huge Adam Sandler kick there for a good while in my 20s. Like,
yep, me too.
I went and bought everyone. I bought Overboard. I have the DVD Overboard.
I do too.
His very first DVD. I have the VHS. Yeah, I have the DVD Overboard, the very first movie he ever made.
Yep.
So terrible.
Yep. It was bad.
So bad.
Absolutely.
It was such a bad movie. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got left here, bud? I can't remember anything about the 75-cent Cadillac. So.
That's okay. That's all right. We've covered a lot already.
We have. I feel like we have
the Mount Rushmore and comedy to go.
And I'm excited about comedy this week.
Me too.
So let's get through Mount Rushmore real quick.
Yeah.
We did Mount Rushmore of exercises. I'm not an exercise guy. I mean, look at me, right? I look like I'm 5'10", 215, like Donald Trump. I'm a big fat guy. I'm a lot like Blake Hammond. That dude's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
He looks like he would own a snake. That's so good. Anyway, we'll get to that. The Mount Rushmore of exercises. This is tough, bud. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. Go ahead.
I think we mentioned this last week when we said we were going to do this. We may have done this one before.
There's a chance.
But it's always fun to revisit them because they're not always going to be the same the second time we go around.
Exactly.
So for me, I went with 2 yoga poses to start. All right.
We all know after last week that Adam has joined a 80 and older old person gym.
That's right.
And they do old people yoga. And one time he was the only person in the yoga class.
And I did it tonight. Wednesdays they have one, and the last like 3 Wednesdays I've done it before I came here.
What's your favorite position? Tell me. It's going to be in here, right?
There are 2 of them. One is child's pose.
That's a 100%. If that's an exercise, yes, I'm in for. I didn't even think of that as being an exercise.
Listen,
yeah. Can we just say fetal position?
I would say. Well, let me tell you my number 2. It's called Shavasana, and
it's on your back, right?
Quote, yes.
Yeah.
Or in parentheses, corpse pose.
Corpse pose.
That's what it's called. It's called corpse pose because
well done.
You lay on your back
with your totally different
with your arms and legs just relaxed. It's the ultimate. You're trying to get full relaxation. You don't move a muscle. You lay on your back. You try to melt everything, relax everything into the floor. And that's the move.
That is the ultimate exercise for me.
That's the best exercise.
Child's pose is a little tough. It's hard to get your knees up under you like that. What I'm saying is it's nowhere near as good as corpse pose.
Yeah. Child's pose feels so good on my hips every time I do it.
I agree with that.
Then I'll go one that's going to seem, the only one that's going to seem legit on mine is the plank. I like the plank.
Mm-hmm.
You go on the forearms, on the elbows, and you see how long you can hold it, or you have a set amount of time or whatever.
That is one thing that I've always surprisingly been decent at. Like I could hold a plank, like Aunt Peggy's gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
Training personally with Peggy Edwards. You would have like one at the end of the whole thing. One of the things sometimes would be hold a plank for that 40 seconds. And some people would go the 40 and then the 15 and then another 40 and then they'd be done. Man, I feel like I could, dude. I feel like I had a couple times where I could go 40 seconds plus the 15s. Like I could hold that plank.
That's tough.
Your whole body's shaking. I like that, dude. That's fun for me without having to. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, you're.
Did you get it?
Yes. I felt like some. I don't know what that was. I felt like my nose. I felt like there was a hair connecting my nose to the microphone.
I have to tilt my microphone down because if I tilted anywhere up, you would just hear my nose rubbing against the microphone all the time.
Speaking of that, I'm doing yoga tonight, and part of it was you lay.
Did you get an old dude put his butt in your nose?
No. No,
that's what I think of when I think of yoga. Is an Asian fellow in his underwear in front of me trying to put his butt in my face.
Check out episode 251 and listen to Chris's story about that. A naked Asian guy did hot yoga with Chris.
Asian fellow. We'll get the wording right. I feel like I'm better now.
Yeah.
May or may not have used a racial slur.
Whatever he was naked.
Yeah.
And he was right in front of Chris.
Let's just say after last week's episode, I'm not running for politics, any political party anytime soon.
I mean, neither one of us are. Let's be honest.
I would do it.
You would be fine. Yeah, I mean, you would. You're such a people person.
That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. That's literally all you have to do. Yeah. That's it. And then you hire somebody that's the most smartest person you ever met, that knows where Nicaragua is on a map, and that dude just tells you what to say all the time.
South. It's south. That's all I know.
Is it?
It's south of here.
You sure it's not west?
I mean, it might be.
Or is it east? I mean, everything's west.
It's some
right?
west. Yeah.
I mean, if you go west far enough, you just become on the east side of us, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Technically, Philadelphia is west.
If the earth,
if you just keep going.
If the earth is round.
Here we go. I think we should get into that right now. Here we go. So,
done.
Here's the thing. My fourth is, you're going to love this one. There's all this information now about how good for you it is to hang.
Yeah.
Not by a neck.
No.
You hold
on. Yeah.
Hold, a chin-up bar or whatever, and you just hang.
So I would love to be able to do where you put your feet in one of those tables and then flip upside down. It's supposed to be an
inversion table. Yeah.
Inversion table. That's supposed to be as good as any chiropractor can do for you. Like those are like they said. I've had people that said they've gone to chiropractors and it's really good for a little while and they got to go back. But they got an inversion table and it cured everything. They never went to a chiropractor again. I can't do it. I get upside down. I get nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Aunt Peggy's gym. She had one and I flipped upside down and I was like, I can't get up. Can you please? I need you to get me off. I was going to puke. I was completely white. Like it took me a while. And I wasn't even all the way upside down. It was like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I've used those before a couple times, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't think this is for me.
But it's supposed to, like, your body's stretching, right? Like people shrink. We shrink.
All of your blood rushes to your head as well, though.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Or in your case, none of it did, I guess. If you got white,
yeah. Apparently, all the blood rushed somewhere else. I don't know where it went, but. It wasn't in either one of my heads, that's for sure.
So those are my 4 exercises for Mount Rushmore. What do you got, Chris? The inversion table's one.
It's definitely not one. The inversion is not one. Number 1 for me, jumping rope.
That's good. I love jumping rope.
Love jumping rope. Love it. Kills my calves. Love jumping rope. My girls just the other day were outside. They've got a couple jump ropes and they love doing it and they run while they jump rope, And I was like, come here, girls. Daddy, can you jump rope? I was like, let me see that thing. Yep. I was like, I got this still. Oh, crap. Hold on a second. Yeah. And I was like, watch this. And I jump, get a tour going. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Like you thought I was the king of the world, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It was every bit of 4 seconds or 5, every bit of it. And I stopped. I could have kept going, but I stopped to give it back. I don't want to show anybody up.
No.
I don't want to show any 7-year-olds up.
Right.
Just let them know Daddy knows what he's doing.
You could have gone for hours.
And my boobs were hurting because they're flopping around so much. I mean, I understand why girls wear sports bras when they work out. Hold them in tight because these things are banging around. Almost hit me in the chin one time, man. Jeez,
get out of here.
Gotta get these ladies under control. Anyway, jumping rope is on mine. I'm terrible at them. Like I might be able to do 2, but I love pull-ups. I love the pull-up bar. Love the pull-up bar. Big pull-up guy. Can't do them, but I love them.
So good for you.
Yeah. Yep. Love the pull-up. It's all your body. I like stuff that has to do with your body.
Body weight stuff, yeah.
Body weight. Yeah. A third one is, I don't even know what this is called, but in high school.
Jumping jack.
I actually wrote jumping jacks down. I was going to say that, but I actually hate jumping jacks. But we would do this thing during conditioning for baseball. So you get up on the 3rd floor at Elder, and that's where we would do all our conditioning at. Not all of it, but some of our conditioning up there. But you get down on all 4s, I know. Add elder, third floor, all fours. Don't let your mind get places where you think it's going. But get down on all fours, and somebody puts their hand on the back of your head. And just with your neck, you just lift your neck up, and there's a little bit of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And then same way, they're pushing down on your head, and you have to make it go down slowly. I'm going to tell you right now, I love, like, people would cheat during those. We would do it with your arms, like you take your arm and have to lift up at the shoulder and back down and shoulder back down. Do the same thing with just pressure. It's just a little bit of pressure. And you could cheat so easy. And I'll never forget Coach Thompson would be like, you can cheat. I'll never know it. Go ahead, cheat if you want. But you ain't going to get nothing. And me and TJ Lucida we worked each other, bro. Like, that dude had the thickest neck in the world.
Yeah.
He I was a little twig. He's just throwing my hand up with his neck. But I loved that. I love that. It wasn't weights. It was like your own body pressure kind of thing. I love resistance. Yes, I love that. So I'm going to put that as 3.
I feel like you see football warm-ups before. I feel like you see the football players do that.
Yep.
With the helmet on.
Yep.
Boxing, I've done that in boxing classes too.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is my all-time favorite because I was the best there was at it. Whether it was conditioning for baseball, I was lapping people, or it was cross country. Like, we would time ourselves doing this in cross country in the stairs at the pit, the big, like, you wouldn't take the little steps, but you take the big ones, running stairs. Ooh. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, I used to love that. I loved running stairs. I'm not fast in any way, shape, or form, but I beat everybody running stairs. I have no idea why, but I beat everybody running stairs. Kill them. Running steps was, we'd run from the basement to the 3rd floor up and down for conditioning for baseball. I'm lapping people, dude. I'm just flying up and down. So I would say running steps is going to be my 4th.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Those were fun. It very interesting to see how different.
Well done on your part to go. I wish I would have thought this out better. Because I listened to it last week and I was like, can I choose nothing? That's what I said last week. Can I choose nothing? Because I hate exercise. And then I really thought about exercises I like. And you come out with child's pose and corpse pose. Well done, my friend. Hey, well done.
I did both of those today.
Best Chris, part of the workout.
Before we get to comedy real quick, we have...
Oh, my gosh. Did we not do the Reese's?
Reese's Pieces with either caramel or caramel.
Ooh.
Both. There are both kinds in here.
I hope I get the caramel. I hate caramel.
Smells kind of good. Give that a sniff.
Oh, buddy.
Can I tell you?
Go for it. I'll eat it. You may or may not know this, but I'm a caramel nut.
It's delicious. That's why. How can you not love it? Oh, we lose one? Oh, I could have got that if it wasn't in my...
Not anymore.
Anyway.
I like my Reese's like I like my women. Caramel.
Hey, that's the truth. I'm with you on that.
I don't know. I'm a big caramel guy, but I don't know if this is my favorite way to eat caramel. A little different, bub.
There's a familiar taste and smell with this caramel.
Toffee. I hate toffee.
Maybe it's got a little toffee flavor.
I hate toffee flavor. I love caramel, hate toffee. They're very similar, but I think there is a distinct difference between the two. I feel like this has got a little toffee to it. I don't know if it's the chocolate. Maybe there's a little chocolate around the caramel.
Maybe it's the peanut butter and caramel.
Maybe together. It's the peanut butter and caramel. Because I love chocolate and caramel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I might give this like an 8-7. I don't know that I would ever buy these. And I love caramel.
Sounds like these are coming home with me.
Yeah.
And
did you love them?
I like them a lot.
I get the Twix, the sea salt caramel Twix. You ever got one of those? So good.
I don't know that I have.
Sea salt caramel. Yeah, that's delicious.
You got an 8-7 on this?
Yep.
8.7.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep eating what I have in my hand, but
I'm gonna go 9.5.
okay.
I'll go 9.5 on it. I like them. I like
Don't
them a
let
lot.
me talk you down, bub.
I probably did, but no, 9.5. I'm comfortable with that for sure.
Okay.
I'll be eating these on the way home. All right, good. Listen, we got to talk about something very exciting. And that's the comedy special this week, and it was Blake Hammond. It was done sometime, I think, toward the end of last year in 2022, and it was called Blake 182. This guy is from Cincinnati.
He had a Bearcats hat on, and I may or may not like. In the beginning, I'm like, "Is that a Bearcats hat?"
Yeah, that's
not sure. I like it.
Points are going to be deducted for sure because of that for you.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. But and you know what? It took me until the very end, like after it was actually over, and there were some shots of some stuff that didn't make the actual full thing that they were showing. It took me until then to realize that was the Bearcats.
Oh, it was within 5 minutes. I saw it. Really? I saw it. I know. I've seen that Cincinnati hat so many times.
I guess I realized there was something on the thing on the side. He had it on the side kind of, and I just didn't pay attention enough, I guess. But anyway, but it was kind of exciting just because it said Cincinnati on his hat, and it was, you could see at the beginning, it was at a bar in Over the Rhine that it was filmed, and he made mention of like a high school. There they showed his high school bully, which was, there was a whole bunch of stuff about that.
So yeah.
Anyway, please go.
No. That I wrote that down. Nick in the front row. Do you think he really was like a bully to him, or maybe even just a little bit? Do you think any of that was real, and he was really like, this dude just randomly just got here, or do you think that was actually one of his buddies?
I do feel like it was probably a guy that bullied him a bit in high school. I believed it.
If it's not true, if it's just one of his buddies, or because it could have, I don't know, front row. I don't know.
The other thing about that, the guy looked like I know him.
Sure. You probably saw him before. It was in Cincinnati. You probably saw him at a comedy club.
I swear, I'm like, God, that guy looks really familiar.
Yeah, Nick.
It was Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yes. College Hill. North College Hill.
Right. North College Hill Nick.
NCH.
That's what we called him. And
NCH Nick.
NCH Nick. I can't believe NCH Nick that's who it was. I didn't realize it. But anyway, it was, I mean, it's kind of silly, but any kind of thing that was Cincinnati related, I was like all excited. Like,
the Finneytown. We played Finneytown.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
So anyway, please. I mean, I kind of started it anyway, but go.
I took notes on this. It's a half an hour.
I wrote down.
It was on YouTube. Yeah. So I'll just start here. We can just go back and forth if you want.
Sure.
First thing I wrote down was he said something somebody told to him recently that he didn't take very well was, "You look like you own a snake." I thought that was awesome. He looks like he owns a snake. Is it jailbait if you're my soulmate? When he started singing, when he was doing the Blink 182 voice, like is it jailbait? I can't even do it. I don't even know how to do it. Yeah. I can't do it.
I think it was like punk pop or something like that.
Yeah, like Blink 182.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it sounded like. Or what are those dudes? Am I all that you done? What's that? Fall Out Boy. Yeah. Okay. Fall Out Boy or something like that, right? That's what it sounded like. Stuff that my little sister listened to.
Yeah.
Right? When she went to, what was it called, where all the bands were there?
Battle of the Bands?
No. Like they were good bands. like Blink 182 would be there.
Like a music festival.
Yeah, it was a music festival. Yeah. Anyway, it was a big one that used to be around. I don't know. I wrote a couple of those things down. Is it so wrong if I want to? What is this? If I want to sharpen your pencil? I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. I hate when I do this. Who is sitting next to the? Here's my thing. This is the one thing that I think they could have did better. They could have not had a second microphone in the crowd.
Oh,
that was annoying. There's some dude that laughed like me, annoying, weird, loud, like just a weird, loud laugh. Like he probably had 4 different laughs. I have like 3 different laughs, and they all come out separately, right? And they're sporadic. Exactly, 100%. I know. Trust me. I know what it is. I know what it is, right? I know my laugh. I get it.
I love all your laughs.
I know, but they come. I don't know which one's coming. It depends on the amount of funny and the amount of surprise I had. I have no idea. And this dude had it, and he must have been right next to the crowd mic because it was so loud. And I was like, "Oh my god, we got to get off of this dude! Like, something, move that microphone, somebody." I wrote that down.
That's funny. I'm not even sure I noticed.
Really?
I mean, the audio seemed like it was not.
I mean, it wasn't going to be the best. He's not. It was a 30-minute special for a local guy, so it's not like it's going to be great. But there was definitely more than just his mic. There was a crowd mic, and it was right next to somebody who it might have been me.
Might have been NCH Nick.
I think it might have been me because it sounded a lot like me. That's probably why I was so annoyed. Now I know why people are annoyed to go with me places that are funny. Oh, Lordy. What else do I have here? This was a good one. The Cracker Barrel is the most honest restaurant name of all time. That was good. Oh, man. The band Linkin Park made music for kids that were too afraid of shooting up the school.
Yeah.
Like, as you say these, it's like, ooh.
He wound up on that one. He was like, all right, this next one is gonna be.
And he kept doing, here we go. That was during his Twitter stuff.
I like that. I like all those notes, all those tweets on the index cards.
Yes,
I like that.
He started talking about Donald Trump driving by in a motorcade when he was at work, and he's like, he just started. He said, he's like, I don't really care about either way, but I just said something to try to get people from both sides to talk about it. He said, and then the actual motorcade drove by the restaurant. I literally could feel my heartbeat in my asshole. That might have been the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even know what this says. Sparxxx. I don't even know what that is. Gay chicken. That was funny. We saw we've talked about this before. All serial killers, they always go with 3 names.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard it go this angle of, is it just that we use them as 3 names because they have them, or is it because they're in really, really big trouble? Because that's how my mom used to talk to me when I was in big trouble. Christopher James Witt.
Yep. Yep. Couple things. So you hit a lot of the notes that I had to. Let's see. I hope Flint, Michigan doesn't have a Mountain Dew factory.
There's another one, right? That's another laugh that I had. I can't even do it to fake, but yeah.
Seemed genuine.
It's because it was.
There you go. And then so and this is true because I just saw him to open for Mark Norman 2 weeks ago, whatever, and that's how I found out about this guy. So he mentioned during that show that he just got married. So he had just gotten engaged during the special last year. So he said that he proposed to his fiance on a hike. And then I like that he said, I wanted to propose to her in the middle of the woods in case she said no. I thought that was funny.
That was so good because nobody's going to look at me. You go, well, we found her dead in the woods. In the woods, does it look like I'm going for a hike? Well, what's your girlfriend? Does it look like I have a girlfriend?
I show a picture of her and she's real attractive. He's like, it doesn't look like she would date a guy with a snake.
Once again, oh my God. I wish he had an hour.
Yeah, he might, man. I thought he was funny both times I've seen him now, in person and on the special. I really liked it. A lot of the jokes that he did a couple weeks ago when I saw him live
were some of these. Yeah.
But he's working
through an hour probably.
He's maybe
it'll just be a half hour of the first special.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's got to come up with something different.
He'll just do a part 2 or something. But there were some jokes that I hadn't heard yet, and those were pretty good too. So I don't know. I think he can write jokes. I think he's good. I like that he does different kinds of things. Like he gets the index cards out for the tweets, and then he talks about something else. He'll do a story, and he'll do a kind of a shorter thing.
He pulled out the marriage vows. I thought that was good.
That was good too.
That was good.
Yeah, the marriage vows.
That piece of paper had been read many times.
Yes,
I think he had a hole in the middle of it. Yeah, the index cards were folded on the sides like that.
And he had those things, the index cards. And they look like that at the live show too.
Did they? The same ones, I guarantee it.
Yeah. So anyway, I like this guy, Blake Hammond. I went ahead with a 3.9. I was pretty close to a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nicely done. So I wrote all these notes, and then I saved I wrote what I thought about it on the back. So all my notes. I was going 4.1 and I crossed it out and did 4.3 by the end of it. 4.3. This dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, if it wasn't for the terrible audio of that Chris Witt in the back of the stands back there laughing in the crowd, it could have been higher. This dude was funny throughout. Now it was a half an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to take that into consideration. Maybe I should have taken that into consideration because it's hard to do an hour. That's not easy.
Right.
He did a half an hour and killed it. And there's a lot of people that I've probably given a low 3 to that might have had a phenomenal half an hour, but didn't have a great hour. So I didn't really take that into consideration. Now I'm starting to think maybe I went a little high. But you know what? It was a half an hour. That's what he did. Those people chose to do an hour. He chose to do a half.
Yep.
And that half an hour was killer all the way through. I would 100% suggest this. Blake Hammond, Blake 182. 1,000%. I say watch that.
I liked it a lot. Yep, I'm glad you liked it. That's awesome. All right, so we've got to pick a couple things for next week.
Yes, we do.
I think we're back now to
1-1.
Okay.
Yeah, we're 1-1. I did exercises. You did Blake Hammond.
That's right. So I got Mount Rushmore this week.
Yep.
You've got there are so many in the last 2 weeks that have come out.
I know. I know what I mean. Just go ahead. You go first.
I think the Mount Rushmore. I've had a couple of ideas that we can do for the next couple or in the next few weeks here. The one I thought of today, though, and I thought of a couple funny ones. I thought,
yeah,
let's do the Mount Rushmore of doctors.
Like doctors in your life or type of doctors?
Your Mount Rushmore of
like pediatrician is a type of doctor or Dr. McCarran?
No,
doctor, Dr. McCarran.
Dr. McCarran.
Dr. Higley, Dr. McCarran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Higgly Wiggly and Dr.
Higgly Wiggly, Dr. McCarran,
Dr. Don't McCarran.
Yeah, Dr. Schiller does a dentist. I mean, they're both. She's been amazing since I went to her. I had a doctor when I was a kid. My mom pulled me out of, took me to Dr. McCarran because she thought he was a little handsy.
Oh,
yeah. I may have been molested as a child. I don't know.
Oh, gee.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, let's get into that.
Maybe I'm just throwing that thing way in the back of my head. I don't know. And I don't remember it, or I'm choosing not to remember it. But there's a good chance I was molested as a child.
Well, if you do some DMT and you get a what do you call one of those guys?
What is DMT?
It's like a chemical that I think your brain or your body makes.
Dahlia motion testosterone.
It's something.
Dimethane.
Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. It's like
no. I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, DMT. It's almost like not acid, but something. But it does the same trip kind of a deal. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
But people take it like you go to not a swami, but like somebody that's
it's like a controlled thing with like a psychologist, basically.
And so yes, so you can do that, and people talk about like I got to the root of these problems that I didn't even realize I had or that I needed, I couldn't figure out before or whatever, and they got in touch with some memories that were locked up that they couldn't remember, but then those came out. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, and it clears everything up. Anyway, it is
It's
a
insane.
drug. I don't recommend you do it. I'm just saying.
I also was like 3 years old, so I'm not going to remember anyway. Yeah.
Oh, but
She was. This dude was just a little weird for my mom. Huh. That's all I know. I don't know how much he touched me. I don't know. I have to ask my mom. Should I have an issue? Should I have issues right now? Maybe that's why I'm so free and so open and like will just drop my pants anywhere. I don't care. Like, what do you want to do? You want to wear Speedo? I'll wear Speedo. Good. Yeah. You want to see this little thing? You can see it. Laugh at it. I don't care. Don't bother me none.
Dr. Pedophile told me it was okay to wear Speedos, I guess.
So here I am.
Anyway, yes, I'm going doctors, Dr. Kevorkian, whoever your favorite guys are.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, could it be like Dr. J, Dr. Dre? Like we're talking just doctors. Like anybody, like
those
just
2 were on the list that I wrote down today.
Let's go. All right. This is gonna be tough, bud.
Look,
this is gonna be tough.
Do a search because they're gonna be up. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. There you go. Dr. Dre, Dr. J, Dr. Kevorkian, and then there was one other one that neither one of us have mentioned yet. So I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save it for next week.
Okay. All right.
That you really probably the first doctor that really comes to mind usually.
Okay. Oh, now I feel weird that I didn't.
He's a fictitious doctor, but
I mean, I figured because the other ones were Dr. Dre and Dr. D. Dr. J. Oh my gosh. All right. So it's my turn to do the comedy special, and I'm going to go with something that you've been talking about for a while. I'm taking the easy way out.
Okay.
I didn't really search too much just because this popped up the other day when I was looking. But Joe List, Enough for Everybody, the full special. It's on YouTube. It's an hour long. Joe List, one of our favorite comedians. I don't know that. I think we've done 2 of his already.
Yep.
Neither of them have been below a 3.7, probably 3.8 at the worst.
Yeah.
Probably both in the 4s would be my guess. Joe List, otherwise known as Joe Schmidt. I swear to God, every time I look at this dude, I think you're brother. Every single time.
He reluctantly says that about himself.
Does he? I'm so happy he says that.
Yeah, we got the
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. The glasses, the good set. They both have a good head of hair.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Schmidts have a good head of hair.
Yeah. But they have similar, like they have higher foreheads. I have the wolf.
It's not even the face. It's not even the face. Some of it is the way that he moves and
he's lanky. They're both lanky guys.
The way they kind of talk and the way they move. Like there's similarities there, not just odd facial things. Like your brother's a lot like me. Like, all right, oh yeah, do I look like some Italian? Yeah, imagine that. I got a giant nose. I'm just always, whatever the worst feature is about something or someone that you think I look like, that's what I'm going to point out we look like.
Yeah, he was doing the same thing. It was more of a self-deprecating thing, but
yes.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, this is, by the way, Joe List's 3rd special in the last 3 years.
Well done.
I Hate Myself, and this year's material was the last one before this.
Yep.
Enough for Everybody. It's on
this
YouTube.
Is at the same place. I just saw it. It's the background of the old place. He had that big Joe List light up sign. There's no Joe List light up sign, but it's the same background. So it's that same Comedy
Cellar.
Is that where it's at? The Comedy Cellar?
Yep.
Yeah. So same place as his last special was. I'm excited for this.
Yep. Me too.
This is like, I mean, Joe List. Who's the Tennessee kid? The guy I love.
Nate
Bargatze, whatever. That dude, Joe List, like
Normand.
Right. Mark
Sam
Normand,
Morril,
Sam, like that whole little group, right? These young, I'm going to call them young. They're probably in their mid 30s, our age, late 30s, early 40s.
Yep.
I'm digging these dudes are good, man. They are so good.
Yes.
So good. Their delivery, their timing, they're all their own person.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them are their own person.
They're all different. They're all a little bit different. Yep.
And they're all so good. I'm really like last time Bargatze Nate came out with his 3rd special in 3 years with the Tennessee Kid. I think was the last one that he did. maybe. Anyway, whichever one it was.
I think there's one more.
But whatever it was, like he's done 3 in 3 years, and every time it's like, man, that's quick. Is this going to be? And sure enough, God, I laughed just as hard as I did the time before. So I'm thinking Joe Listcombe. I got big hopes. I got big ups for this dude. I'm ready for him.
Yeah, these guys are joke machines. I love how much they're putting out new material. It's awesome.
Joke machines.
Yep.
Maybe they're not real. Maybe they're like Joe Biden. They're just puppets.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Weekend at Bernie's.
What are the what, there's a term I've been trying to think of all episode. Anyway, it's like a robot, but it's not. It's a droid, or it's not. It's not something like that.
You're not looking for these. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
That's from something.
Yeah. What's droids? There's only one thing droids are in.
Is it Austin Powers?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Weren't
I have seen 3 Star Wars. Apparently there's like 12 now. I've seen 3. How many have you seen?
3 or 4.
Yeah, I've seen 3. And they were all from the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I've not seen a single new Star Wars since it came back.
I think I saw one of them
with the when it first came back with Bubba Sparxxx.
No, I didn't see any of the ones with Bubba Sparxxx. No, it was the
Jar Jar Binks. That was his name, not Bubba Sparxxx.
There were like 3 more, right?
Yeah,
of those.
Yep.
And then they came back again, like in the last 5 or 6 years or whatever.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Which is Darth Vader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only know this stuff. I've never seen it. I was just heard.
Yeah. I know some stuff about it just from it being in the.
I mean, it's huge, right? Star Wars is huge, right? It's pop culture, I guess. But Star Wars is the first. I liked them when I was a kid. I loved them. My dad thought they were unbelievable, but he refuses to watch it. And he knew Star Wars. He's like, no, that's weird. That's weird stuff. I'm not getting into that. But when he was 13,
sure,
that was as cool a movie as you could ever watch. I don't know why it got so weird. Why is it like being a Trekkie, right? Like people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like all the. It seems
like the Comic-Con and
and the superhero movies. It's like it's everything's being remade, and it's like the same story, and they're just kind of trying to add stuff to it to continue to make money off of that franchise or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be losing, although special features and special effects and everything are way better now than they ever were, and so I'm sure you could make movies.
Well, you mean the trash cans that they made into droids back in the old thing weren't good special effects?
No, but anyway, it's all kind of the same deal for me. Like, there are so many of those things out there. There's so many Marvel movies, DC movies, and all the superhero stuff, and now there are 15 Star Wars movies, and I'm not interested enough in any of them. They're probably all pretty good movies, and experiencing them in a theater with all the sound and everything that goes into it is probably a cool experience. But
sure,
it's not. It doesn't. It's like so oversaturated now or something.
Yeah,
it just doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah. So I talk about this. I've told this story before. I am not into a lot of that. Like, I don't even like movies. I don't watch movies. I just don't watch movies. I don't go to movies. My wife loves going to movies. She'll take the kids. I say go when I'm working and it's summer. Go watch movies. I'll fall asleep.
Yep.
Like, yeah, sometimes I'll even really like a movie, but I'll never remember it. Like, people do the movie, like they'll have a whole conversation, and the whole conversation is just quoting movies back and forth. And I'm like, you guys could just talk. What are you guys talking about? We're like, haven't you ever seen such and such? And I'll be like, yeah, I did see that. Oh, is that what that's from? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, I'll think about it for a second. I can't do that. So I'll never in my life forget. I went to go watch a superhero movie. My brother-in-law, like every Marvel movie, has seen every one. with him, we bought every Marvel movie on our Voodoo account or whatever, and watched them in order, like the way they came out, right? Like he's super into it. Well, we went to a movie. I'll never forget it. It was me, him, my father-in-law, and then our uncle, and there's some other guys there for some reason. We're all good at this movie, and I'm sitting there. At some point in time, in these 3-hour movies, you're like, come on.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing.
Like they're all 3 hours long. It's like, let's go. Movie gets over. Credits come up. Boom. I jump up. Let's roll, bro. I'm ready to go.
No.
But I'm going to tell you right now, when I'm telling you I'm the only one, I wasn't. There was 2 people that stood up. It was me and my wife's uncle. Both stood up. Like we both were the first ones like, let's get out of here. And everyone shot a look at us like, where are you going? Yeah. I'm like, what? And my brother-in-law was like, no, man, you gotta wait till after the credits. And I was like, why? There's a 10-second little clip that tells you what might happen in the next movie to come out about another superhero. And I'm like, let's get out of here, bro. I've been here for 3.5 hours now. Now I gotta stay here for another 10 minutes and watch all these credits. I'm good. I want to just go see a comedy and I want to get out. I like a rom-com. I like a good rom-com. Sure. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't want to go to a superhero movie. I don't want to go to a scary movie in any way, shape, or form.
Never.
Hate it more than anything in the entire world. I just want to go see a good comedy / rom-com / anything that has the word com in it. Mm-hmm. I'm in for that outside of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like if it's comedy, I'm in. I don't want to watch any other movie. I would rather go with my kids and watch some cartoon movie than go watch that stuff. I don't want to go watch a movie.
Speaking of the Comic-Cons, there are some cool ones too with, like they have panels from like sitcoms and stuff like that. And some of that stuff would be cool. But I found out just in the last, just maybe a month or 2 ago, there's an NBA con now.
What? See, now I'm in for that. That's like Reds Fest.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the first year they did it, but like the whole league, they used to have 4 or 5 different summer leagues, different places, Utah and Las Vegas, and here and there. Yeah. And so I think they had one big summer league in Las Vegas this year, and that's where it was. And if they have it next year, I've never been to Vegas. That could be the reason to go for me, because the other reasons I don't care about it. Yes.
I've been to Vegas one time. I'd 100% go back.
Yeah.
I would go back just to walk the strip and watch the people. That's people talk about going to an airport and doing something. Dude, best people watching in the world. I did people watching while I was dropping a deuce in the bathroom one time. I'm dropping a deuce. We talked about this when this happened, and you may or may not remember, but I told this story on the podcast once before. I'm in the bathroom at the Paris. Okay. So they got this little like brunch place restaurant out front, and we were staying in the Paris. And I go into the bathroom. It was a long night. I go in the bathroom, drop a deuce. And because we go down for brunch, and I couldn't eat without taking care of business. That was probably number 3 of the morning. Ooh. Get in there. I'm sitting there, and there's a foot comes into my stall. And it's, the dirtiest shoe you ever seen in your life. It's disgusting. This. And I can see a shadow of a syringe. I can see a shadow of a syringe in a guy's arm, and he's got a thing around, and I can see his arm. I can see everything, and I can see the syringe. And then his leg falls into my stall and doesn't move. And I'm like, that dude just shot something up. And I sat there for a minute, and I was like, I'm not getting up until I see something move. Like, this dude might be dead. And it moved a little bit, and I was like, he's good. I got up and got out of there so quick. It's like, that dude just shot up in the bathroom at the Paris.
Somebody Narcaned him back to life.
Dude, that was crazy. And I was making noise in there too, bro. I was blowing that thing. I was blowing that thing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Imagine that's the last thing that guy hears and smells before he dies.
Happy birthday.
We gotta end on that.
All right. So Joe List and Mount Rushmore of
doctors.
Forgot about that.
That guy needed a doctor.
He did. Oh, he needed a doctor. And on that note, don't forget to turn your headlights on.